Welcome to the Forward Podcast. We're diving back into an episode titled When Feelings Fade, Choosing Love When It's Not Easy. Kari and I have had a horrible week. We've been mad at each other since
I just got home. I don't even know if I'm mad yet.
You'll figure it out real soon.
The house is clean, so I'm good.
I do a great job with the house.
You do. This house is beautiful. You did a great job.
I need some praise, girl. Come on, give me some praise tonight.
More than that.
No. So the last couple of weeks we've been kind of dealing with the subject of marriage. And I actually feel like, not that we're professionals or, hey, we have it all figured out, but I do feel like here at times we're really good at these subjects. Like, we've had good examples in our life. And then we've almost 20 years of marriage, so 2 decades of marriage coming in. So it's kind of a cool subject that we both enjoy talking about, but we still love to kind of grow in. You know what I mean?
Well, we enjoy marriage, and I think it's fun to talk about things that you enjoy. There's a lot going on in our lives, and I don't feel like right now we have the amount of time we would like to put into our marriage just because we're so busy, but it's not even in an upsetting way.
Right.
Like we just know, it's just a season, but we like being married. Yeah. I like being married to you, and I know you like being married to me.
I do.
So it's just fun to talk about stuff that you enjoy and stuff that's, close to your heart. And yeah, we are kind of good at it.
So let me ask you this. What subject do you kind of, like, people ask, will you talk about this or can you address this? But what subject are you kind of like, I don't really enjoy talking about this?
Under the umbrella of marriage, you think, or just overall?
Just overall.
It's really difficult for me to talk about anything that's like when kids are struggling with stuff.
Yeah.
Like I read a testimony today of a young woman that she's married with children now, but she had an issue with a type of pornography starting at 15. Oof. And we counsel those, and I don't mind, but I'm a mother, so it hurts. It just hurts. I hate to hear about kids struggling with things like that, and it just bothers me. Our culture is just so hard on kids. And it's tough. It's tough as a mom. You don't like to hear when kids struggle, but I also want to be there. If any, teenagers or kids need to talk things through and need advice and counsel, I never want to turn that away. Because when I was a kid, I would have wanted someone to listen to me. So but it's just not, it's not.
It's so funny because you have always been that way. I remember even when you're dating or any type of scary movie or like any kind of movie, you were okay with most genres unless it had a scary kid or something with a kid. You're like, nope, not what done. Absolutely not.
I don't like anything where kids are hurting or mistreated or abused. I will not.
I think that's the mom in you for sure.
Oh, it's also the rage in me.
Yeah.
Like
it'll come out. Yeah.
I am very patient and I can take a lot, but anybody messes, not just with my kids, obviously my kids come first, but oh man, I do not like kids being mistreated. That bothers me.
You do not.
Yeah.
Even in, we talked a little bit about this a couple weeks ago, but growing in each other and the times that I've told you stories, it's funny, even when I share feelings of when I'm a kid, I always see the mom come out in you. You're like, oh, I would have just scooped you up and I would have.
I know. When you recount anything from your childhood that was painful for you, I can't stand it.
Yeah,
I'm like, stop,
it's funny.
Stop.
That is so you.
Yeah.
That's so you.
But marriage is fun to talk about.
It is.
That's a bright spot.
So you said, we are living busy lives, and so we don't have a lot of time to put into our marriage. So we're kind of on this topic a little bit about marriages that truly, even in busyness or hurt, or kids move out of the house, when those feelings fade, we still choose love, even in those moments. Not easy. So we're living in a stage right now, raising 5 kids, ministry, podcast, teaching, you in a university, all things that you and I, growing up a business, you're a business owner. So what do you think we do well at then in the little things of working on our marriage? Because I don't feel like we're just in neutral or coast mode. Or would you say we are just kind of in that mode? What do you think we do in the little things?
No, I don't think there's anything neutral or coast about our life right now at all.
Yeah.
I think our life is, just a lot of adjustments. It's a daily, I think of like maybe somebody learning how to ride a bike and balancing, and you're using all of those arm, leg, core, even neck muscles to try to balance yourself on a bike. I feel like that's our family right now because everything's just a quick adjustment. We do have some routine, but we're taking speaking engagements again after kind of a 1.5 year hiatus from that. My work schedule's different a lot. And then of course with ministry, there's just no predicting what can happen from day to day. So yeah, it's not that I think our marriage is neutral or, just boring. I think there have been moments when we've put more time into one another. I remember there was a lot of times where we ate together every day for lunch because I worked remotely and you're only a few minutes away. So every single day we had lunch together. Yeah. That's definitely, I know, I do too. That's definitely not been happening lately. We might hit once a week, maybe. Right. But that's okay. That's all right because it's just, there's a lot going on and we're doing a lot. And so we know it's a season. And I feel like with my business, we said at the beginning of the year, when I take over in June, I told you, I feel like I'll need a solid year to find my footing with this. And you agreed. Right. And you said maybe even 2. And so, that's just where we're at. But there's many times that, if I need you and say, can you please come up for lunch? You'll drop everything here. Or if there's something wrong with a kid and you call and say, can you get the kids? I'll drop work and I'm on my way, Yeah. So I think a lot of that is choosing love when it is not convenient and it's not, you just have to make each other the priority. Right. And you have to say, and even that, like sometimes is you saying like, I know your work is priority today. Yeah. And that's not always convenient for you, but you're choosing to love me and to allow me to do something that I need to get done and vice versa. And we have those flexible times with each other. And so I think that's a huge sign, a green flag, if you will, that, you're not falling out of love is when you can be flexible with each other but you still want to be together. Yeah. How many times do we go to work and I'll text you just a heart, and it's like, I'm here and I'm so busy, but I want you to know I miss you and I think about you. And you do the same to me, or you'll just text me around lunch. Like, did you make sure you eat lunch today? Yeah. So I think that's a big part of choosing love is like, it's not that you're not attracted to each other or you don't want to be together. Sometimes saying that, like, I'm choosing to love you sounds so, like you've almost fallen out of love with somebody, but it's not. It's saying like, I choose to recognize that even with our lives being in such, maybe it's disarray or a difficult season or just a busy season. I think about you all the time. I want you. I'm still interested in you. And as soon as we're back together, we're going to spend some time together. So.
It's really good. I think in every scenario, when you're heading into different seasons of life, whether it's just getting married or whether it is having kids, which we talked about a couple weeks ago, kind of difficult on a man. Yeah. Which we got a lot of feedback from that. More men struggle with that than we realized. Or when kids are leaving the house and then the woman really fades into this identity crisis of my world was wrapped around 1, 2, 3, 5 kids over the last, 18 years. Now they're all at the house. And so there's like this crisis of who am I? Or like for us, not that big, but starting a new business. I think there's 3 things that in those busy, crazy, upside down scenarios that you have to think through is number 1, be mentally prepared. Don't go into it just, we're going to be fine. Be mentally prepared like we did. Okay, for the next year, it's buckle down. Yeah. It's not going to be as much time. That's your way of saying you can't whine when I'm not there for you. Yeah. It's me being mentally prepared. Okay. There's some fun things that our relationship has had that's going to be on hiatus for a little while. It's going to be on hold. Be mentally prepared. Number 2, communicate. Yeah. There's a lot of seasons that we go into, even tonight, looking at our calendars, like, okay, this week, we're mentally preparing each other for it's gonna be tight on margin and okay. So be mentally prepared. Number two, communicate. Just talk through. Hey, in a couple of years, our kids are getting ready to leave the house, or we're going to have another baby, and how the chemistry in the body works. Blah blah. It's communicating through those things.
Yeah.
And then I think number three, it's the small dates. It's the small that's going to make a big difference. It's not every year, Kari, you and I can get away and let's go take a week and we're just gonna, we're gonna go to Sandals and soak up the sun. And that just doesn't happen. We went on our 10th. That was 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like we just, that doesn't happen every year. So you prepare each other by every once in a while just hitting the small things. Just you and I, let's go see a movie.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 2 hours to sneak away. We've talked about this before, but what's the cookie place? Crumble. Let's go get a Crumble. It's 11 o'clock at night. They don't close till midnight. It's a late date night. Kids are in the bed. Hey, real quick, let's sneak out. Let's go. It's those little things that help save a relationship and a marriage because you're mentally prepared, you're communicating, and then it's not, well, did you see the Jones that, they were able to go to Florida for 6 days? Okay, well, we can't do that. So what can we do? We could just celebrate little small wins here and there and celebrate each other by going and grabbing chips and salsa because we got 30 minutes in between craziness. It's just those little small dates that make a big difference as well.
Yeah. I think something that most couples really need to work on that I see is a lot of people don't see value in their marriage. They don't value it as much as they should. They don't see it as a partnership where the most value in their life lies. They might value their job or even their relationship with their family over their marriage. And maybe they wouldn't say that out loud, but you can definitely tell the people who value their husband-wife relationship over everything else. And you can tell the ones that don't.
Yeah.
Those people genuinely will not care to speak ill of each other. They will not care to prioritize children or, their own family members over their relationship. And I think that's a huge detriment. And that's not always easy. There are times in life, especially as a woman, and I think of like immediately after you become a mother the first time, or maybe you have multiple kids, you can really need and want to depend on your mom or your sisters or a friend that you're close to. And those relationships can feel more comforting than your husband because men don't understand, what we're going through emotionally and hormonally. And it can be difficult to prioritize a relationship that just feels like it's not really cohesive at the moment. But I think that's where the choice comes in.
Yeah.
That's where the choice of like, okay, I love my mom and I love my sisters or I love my friend or whoever it may be in your life, but I live with this person. I live with them and we're accountable to one another. And, if it's about children or even work, like this is our life together. And I think it's important to make that choice over and over and over again. Like I'm going to, even though I might feel tempted to connect more with this person or with that, and those connections aren't wrong, but my priority needs to lie in this partnership and in this covenant relationship.
So let me ask you then, and you can be honest
I'm nothing
here.
else.
So if you've probably had that mindset with me before.
Oh, yeah.
So someone who's like, yes, okay, man, Kari nailed it. That's me. Or that's my spouse. That's how they treat me. That's how they are. I'm not a priority. How do you change that mindset? Speak from a woman to a woman. How does a woman change that mindset? Like raising kids is a big deal.
Yeah.
To some women that we know, their whole identity is wrapped up their business world, who they are at work. So how can they prioritize a marriage if it's not? How do you, is it a long process? Is it a short process? Like, how do you change that mindset?
I think it's up to you how long it takes. For me, it was just finding a point of connection with you, something for both of us that we both enjoyed. It can be something small, and just try to, play that tune every day, whether it's, we like to jump in and go grab a coffee together. We've had those moments. We used to do that all the time.
Yeah,
that was kind of a thing for a while. whether it's watching a show at night together. We've had those moments. Whether it's serving, coming up with a ministry or a job or something that you're doing together. Find a point of connection. And secondly, make that choice and make it known. There were times that I denied my family for you or, chose you over them in a moment where maybe I didn't really want to. And then I made it known to you. Not that I bragged I denied my family, but I would say this situation wanted to take place or we were planning this, but, I feel like that's a little much. And I feel like you and I needed that time. So I just said, no, would you rather go do this? And it was something that I knew you would enjoy. And making those sacrifices for someone, it does tie those strings and it does create that bond because they really appreciate that, and there were times where you were really relieved and said, oh, good. I really didn't want to do that. Or I would have the phone conversation in front of you on purpose, like, Mom, I'm so sorry. Thank you for the invitation. I really just want to go do this with Thomas this weekend and, we're going to catch you next time.
Have you done that?
Oh yeah. And in purpose, on purpose in front of you. And how good does that make you feel when your spouse, in front of you tells your family, I'd rather do something with my, husband or wife.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes you feel good.
Top of the world. Top of the world.
And those tie strings in both of your hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And so, make the connections, find a point of connection purposefully and on purpose in front of them. Choose them. It's not hard. I mean, this stuff it's really not hard to win someone over.
Yeah.
It's not. But I think a lot of times we get so stuck in our ways and we get so selfish.
Yeah.
And it's like, choose that person and let them know it.
So what happens if, let's say a woman does that, but she doesn't feel like the husband reciprocates? He doesn't get back. Oh, that's cool. I'm kind of giving away the dudes here, so guys don't get mad at me, but we don't always see it. You know, sometimes I don't want to say we're boneheads, but we are oblivious at times. The candles are lit, the Hallmark movie's on, you got home early from work. The woman's really putting out, this is for, I want a date and I want this. And the guy's like, hey, did you make dinner? Did you, the game's on. Could you care if I turn this? Sometimes guys don't get it. So what if a woman is like, okay, I'm going to prioritize my marriage. I'm going to take these steps. But then he doesn't get it. He doesn't reciprocate. He's not putting the time into the marriage that she feels like.
Yeah.
Then what? Do you communicate that?
Yeah.
What's the next step?
In that situation, that's not... you're not really preparing him for a date, right? You're preparing you. So if you're doing the things that, you like to try to get him to take you on a date, you're really just preparing yourself. It's really kind of a manipulation, and that sounds like a bad word, but I am continually shocked at how little people know about each other that live together.
Yeah.
It is not hard to learn someone. Pay attention and deny yourself and do what they want to do. And do the things that make them want to please you. And those things are not hard to figure out. Look, study that person, learn what makes them tick, learn what makes them happy, and do those things. When you please someone and you speak their language, that's where you get those reciprocal feelings, is automatically they feel in your debt. But you have to find the things that speak to them, because a lot of times, we'll do things that mean something to us and then expect that person to be pleased. Well, and we're kind of going in the 5 love languages here, right? And that's tale as old as time, but it does ring true. I mean, figure out what speaks love to them. There's a lot of things that we do that we're speaking love to ourselves. I made you a homemade dinner and I cleaned the house. Well, maybe your man maybe he doesn't care. He'd rather just order a pizza, and that's loving for you to do that for him. But if he loves to sit and watch the game and order pizza and you want to show him that you care, then maybe have a pizza, when he comes through the door, and have his favorite jersey on and, his team's hat, and sit there and say, I got a speech. I'm going to watch the game with you.
No.
Right? And speak their language. I am so shocked. And frankly, Just be real. I'm really disappointed. How many people don't get that?
Yeah.
It is the easiest thing in the world. And now if you're doing all those things and you do know his language and he's never reciprocating, that's a breakdown and that's a deeper conversation. And you for sure, I mean, something's wrong. There's some bitterness there and there's some problems there that have never been solved.
Right.
And you're going to have to dig deeper for sure.
Yeah.
But if it's surface level and you're just stale and you're both bored and there's nothing there, you're both being selfish and someone needs to come over to the other side and start that circle of debt really.
Right.
When you feel like, man, I owe her. She really, gave herself last night with this, whole watching the game with me and getting my favorite meal and, stuff like that. And I feel like I should do something for her. That's not a hard circle to start, but people won't. The woman will want to do things that she wants to do and say, why doesn't he want to do this with me?
Yeah.
Well, he's not interested in that.
And I think what you have said is so great, Kara, in that most couples really do feel like in order to have fun, the spouse has to enjoy what one spouse likes. Mm-hmm. And it's not how it works. Like, we do love a lot of the same things, but there's a lot of things, like I love all things sports. I can watch sports all day. You do not at all.
No, don't
And there's
care.
other things that you like or even shows that you watch that's more nerdy than what I would like. And you read very different authors than the book you're reading tonight. I'm like, oh, it sounds great, but I would never read that book.
Yeah.
So I think there is truly a breakdown in the marriage realm that in order to get along, have fun, and be in love, everybody has to like the same thing. Like you married, you married somebody that's the same person.
Yeah,
that's
yourself.
Yourself. That's not how it works
No.
at all. Choosing love is legit at times. Me going shopping with you and just, okay, I'm just going to hang out and talk to you and follow you around and not have a bad attitude. And then there's moments you plop on the couch and we'll watch a game with me. And it's not out of duty. It's out of, I just want to spend time with this person.
Yeah.
And I think if people could realize marriage really is fun from beginning to end. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to have dry spells or spots where it's like, okay, now we're trying to find our identity. Well, now we don't know, so we're getting divorced. We're calling it quits. Yeah. It really can be a blast.
And I think it's okay if there are those times. We all have times where we all go through ups and downs. So I squeaked my shoe on the floor.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think the biggest thing to remember is if you are going to be in a relationship of any kind, a friendship, a family that you consistently see, a marriage, if you're a parent, you're always going to have to do things you don't want to do.
Yeah.
You have to do things you don't want to do, or you don't necessarily, that aren't you, or things that you don't love. Like, it's okay. So what? Mm-hmm. So this is not a life where everything's about you getting to have fun all the time.
Yeah.
That's not practical, and it's just not reality. So it's really a transactional experience in a lot of ways. If you want a partner, if you want a spouse in this life, and you want to raise children together, and you want to share bills, and you want to have a bed partner, and you want all those things out of life, then there are going to be sacrifices that you make on a daily basis. Yeah. And that's just part of it. Like, you don't get to have a home without paying for it. You don't get to have a car without making payments. You don't get to have a job without learning a new skill. Like, everything in life has a deficit and a positive, right? And for some reason, people think when I get married, there should be no deficit. There should be zero expenditure. Everything should be to the positive. And I don't know why that culture exists, but if you get the opposite mindset where I am going to create bonds through my sacrifice and through things that I don't want to do in order to get this reward and in order to build these foundations, I think it's just a lot easier to cope with those things.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, hey, thanks for the conversation tonight.
Yeah,
this was really good. Yeah.
Good.
You naturally spill out great wisdom, Kara.
Oh,
and I mean, you're really good at this.
Thank
and Kari just got done speaking at a ladies conference, and then I guess one or two more you've already booked. So yeah, we're kind of back in that mindset. Yeah. So if you'd like Kari and I to come in and do a marriage conference for you, we'd love to do that. Just reach out. And I forgot to tell you, we had 2 people reach out this weekend. I got to get back with one up in Canada. One was in Canada.
No
yeah,
way.
be
Back
really
to my
good.
homeland.
So it'd be fun.
Not really, but sort of. My adopted homeland.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, y'all, thanks for tuning in this week. We're going to carry on this conversation. We got a couple points we're going to hit, but kind of it's a little bit deeper, so don't want to hit it this evening. And but thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for sharing, and thanks for continuing to send in the questions. We really appreciate it.
Have a great week.